All right, let's get started. Welcome, everybody, as you guys are coming into the chat. Today is Tuesday, almost hitting in the middle of February. And the discussion topic today is making futsal great in America. Make futsal great in America. Can you guys check out my new sweatshirt? Make futsal great in America. Okay? What do you guys think? Love the guys here from on your chat. What do you think of the sweatshirt? Make futsal great in America. Ah, some of you guys might want one of these sweatshirts, right? Not bad, right? All right. So I'd like to welcome everybody to the chat today. It is almost the middle of February, and myself, if you don't know who I am, my name is Nick Alexopoulos. If you're the first time in the chat here in the live, I have been involved in futsal pretty much all my life, ever since I was a small kid in Europe, while I immigrated here in the U.S. back in the late 70s, early 80s, here in New Jersey, where in those days it was indoor soccer. In the late 70s, early 80s here in New Jersey, there were no turf fields, there were nothing like that, nothing of the sort, just basically indoor gyms, and we play indoor soccer, quote unquote. In those days, that's what it was called. I have grown playing futsal here in Union County, New Jersey, Jersey City. If you guys are familiar with New Jersey, Jersey City, Elizabeth, Newark, again, all those indoor facilities back in the day, it was indoor soccer, not futsal. But that's what it was. It was indoor soccer with the lines, everything, no boards, right? That's how I grew up playing futsal. So I am definitely a testimonial of what futsal can do for development of youth soccer players. Not to mention a lot of fun. Used to love those days. I remember Friday nights playing, at the Jersey City Armory. For those of you guys that are my age, man, it was a treat. I mean, it was just everybody going there Friday nights, then Saturdays all day long to play futsal. So after that, I basically have integrated futsal. In those years, I was my teens. So grew up playing that, and I think that's what helped me achieve my dream of playing really college ball. Eventually, I went to Europe and I played for a couple of years. So futsal was always the standard, and that's what it set the wheels in motion for me to play soccer at a higher level. After that, my late years, I have been a college coach, soccer coach for Wider University for multiple years. We actually have a futsal court on campus that was donated by the Philadelphia Union. And futsal has always been the beginning and the end to training for the collegiate teams. I've also implemented futsal training systems into my soccer teams, my academies that I trained. And it was always part of the curriculum. Again, years back in the early 2000s, when I started coaching more on a professional level after my mortgage background career came to an end. I have always implemented a curriculum of futsal. So that's pretty much it for me. I mean, I forgot to tell you, moving forward to today, I actually am the director of a futsal specific academy. We don't do soccer, we only do futsal. We help soccer players develop or sharpen or maintain their individual skills, as well as teach the game of futsal. So when kids play futsal, they actually play futsal, not soccer on a futsal field or futsal court, should I say. And then, of course, I'm the director of a futsal league here in New Jersey that hosts futsal leagues as well as tournaments. So I am someone who is immersed into the futsal culture. I am someone who believes undoubtedly that futsal is growing by leaps and bounds, not only here in New Jersey, not only nationally, but worldwide. Um, there's really nothing anyone can do to slow down the momentum of futsal, as far as I'm concerned. It used to be a quote unquote secret of the South American culture. Players, grew up playing futsal. In fact, that's what's going on now in South American countries, as well as countries like Spain and Portugal and Europe, Italy. Players are instead of starting playing at 4 or 5 years old soccer, they start playing futsal, and as they get older, they develop their skills, and then when the time and the quality comes, they kind of switch to soccer. But futsal is where they start. Futsal is where they get their start. So the days that futsal was just for those country, they're gone. The gig is over. Everybody knows futsal is a great thing, and it's not really me saying so or other people saying so. All you got to do is just do a due diligence, research online, and see all the players that are playing a high level leagues, especially at Premiership in England or Serie A or La Liga. Most of the top level players, they have played, futsal one time or another. That's the bottom line. There's no denying it. So just setting the stage, about what I am all about. There is no discussion as far as I'm concerned. Part of what I want to do moving forward in years is to bring more education about futsal. Because let's face it, every day that passes by, if one new player starts playing futsal, that's a great thing for America. And again, the title of the video is Make Futsal Great in America. Make futsal great in America. Why? Because I live in America. So I want to see futsal grow, not as a self, interest monetary thing, but because if we aspire for our players to become better, and I'm gonna engage into this conversation why I'm saying this. If we want our players to excel at the top levels, not only here in America through the MLS system, but go play overseas, and some do go play overseas. But let's be honest. Let's do the numbers. You want to crunch some numbers? Go and do some numbers. The amount of youth soccer players that start playing soccer in America, in comparison to the players that actually make it at the top level in other countries, the numbers, don't jive. They don't lie. They're not that great. They're anemic. So futsal, in my opinion, would be something that would help those players play at the top level. But aside from that, futsal is an amazing sport. It's fun. I'm looking back growing up here in Union County, and I remember having more fun playing futsal in the gymnasiums in the late 70s and 80s. I have more fun doing that than actually playing soccer outdoors, to be honest with you. I'm not saying that. And every testimonial these days, well, I shouldn't say every testimonial, but 9 out of 10 kids or families that come and play futsal here in New Jersey with our organization, they all say how much fun they had. So the first thing that we got to take into consideration, that's where it all starts, right? It's having fun. Having fun on the futsal court. Just bring your kids to a futsal environment and see if they have fun in comparison to a soccer game. See which one is more fun. Ask them. Of course, I wanna dive today into why futsal is so undervalued in the U.S., how we can change that, cover common mistakes, key ideas to grow futsal, and the benefits of playing futsal. And I want to address the number one thing, the biggest elephant in the room, in my opinion. Parents want to play soccer or want their kids to play soccer, originally, of course, to engage in a social environment, to have fun, right? But somewhere very, very early in the youth soccer player's career, age-wise, parents already have aspiration and dreams of possibly their kid playing or being able to secure a collegiate scholarship to play soccer and for them to save some money, which is understandable. So the focus all these years, and take it from me as a college coach, a former college coach, because I've retired, is that notion pops up in most parents' heads around the age of when the kids are between 9, 10 to 12 years old. Around that age, if the player is pretty decent, that notion of, hey, you know what, there might be something here. Maybe my kid can get a college scholarship and I can save some money. And of course, the standard until now, and in fact, most people keep saying that, well, futsal is great and my kid is having a lot of fun, but I want him to have the opportunity to get a scholarship to play in college. Okay? Well, guess what? I hate to break the news to you. Newsflash. You can be seen, you can be found through futsal for a potential college scholarship in a roster spot. Why? How? It's simple, really. A lot of the college coaches that coach, if you go to a regional, a national, or a higher level futsal event, a lot of those coaches, you'd be surprised, are college coaches, like myself. I was a college coach at the University of Weiner, and I also coached futsal, and I took those teams into regionals and nationals. And I was able to see, and I was approached by families that knew who I was to possibly take a look at their kid. So it is possible to get a look and get recruited through futsal for a collegiate potential spot, roster spot. It's not unheard of. And actually, it's becoming more and more common for college coaches to start going and recruiting in the futsal tournaments simply because the competition is not as high as it is in the outdoors showcases or what have you. Furthermore, a good technical player in a futsal environment will stand out much faster than in a soccer environment. So there's a lot of, quality technical players that may not, fit the stereotypical American futsal player. Soccer player, And to this day, a lot of schools, when it comes to college, are looking for that player. They're looking for the tall, fast player. Well, if that's the only players that get recruited in college, what about the, maybe not as tall, maybe not as fast, running-wise, but very technical, very quick-thinking players that exist throughout the country? What about those players? And if the college system refuses to recruit those kind of players, is there another solution? Is there another path to a scholarship for those younger, smaller, not as fast, but very high-level technical players into a college scholarship? Yes, there is. In West Coast, California, Arizona, there have been already some schools that started to not only offer scholarships into their futsal programs, they actually have futsal programs, but NAYA, not NCAA, NAYA already has, to a very small degree, futsal collegiate leagues, and some of them actually play with teams from Mexico. So these are the things that are going on that most parents and most people involved in the youth futsal just are not aware of, Let me ask you a question. I see a lot of people in the chat, right? So let me ask you a question. How many of you guys play futsal other than, the winter months? Do you train or do you play futsal past the winter months? And in most states in America, primarily futsal is being played in the winter months, right? So my question to you guys is, how many of you guys, either your kids train or play futsal other than, let's say, the December, January, February months. I know because I have taken teams to California to different tournaments. I know that some other states have futsal year round. I know that the months may change. Like, they may play futsal at different months. But there's some states, for example, like I said, California, Florida, Minnesota, that is very cold, Kansas City, Texas, that play a lot more futsal outside the winter, quote unquote, the winter months. So again, the question is to you guys, how many of you guys have your children play futsal outside the months of winter months, December, January, February? Just curious, because that's a mindset that we have in America, and I believe it's the wrong mindset. The biggest mistake in the U.S. about futsal is that mindset that many clubs, parents, coaches only use futsal as a seasonal supplement to soccer. That being the winter months, December through January. I'm sorry, December through February, for example. They see futsal as a winter filler as opposed to a core part of player development. That, in my opinion, is the mindset that prevents the players from maximizing the growth in many key areas like ball mastery, quick decision making, movement with and without the ball, becoming more confident on 1v1 situations, taking on players, being able to hold on to the ball. Just endless benefits. In my opinion, the right mindset is, like countries like Brazil, Spain, Portugal, which they develop, world-class soccer players through a year-round futsal training, organized, structured year-round futsal training. Futsal in those countries, it just isn't a tool. It's a sport in itself, which brings me to the other conversation, right? It produces better, more skilled players, and it's seen not only as a development tool, but it's also an amazing individual sport. So players who integrate futsal year-round excel both in soccer and in futsal because of their superior technical skills and agility. So once again, like I said, how many of you guys are using futsal as a winter in between soccer season sport, or you incorporate into your year-round soccer playing as part of the curriculum? I think in order for us, and this is not just the slogan, make futsal great in America. I believe that we have to become more active in bringing awareness on why futsal, alongside with your soccer, why as an individual development tool, but as well as a sport. I'm telling you, the floodgates have happened. They've opened completely. It's the revolution has happened. Futsal is just here. There's nothing you can do about it. I know financially, most soccer organizations see futsal as a enemy of soccer, because they want to keep the money in soccer, because all across America, the primary or the most amount of coaches, soccer coaches, do not understand or know how to teach futsal. So whatever that number is, the biggest percentages don't know how to teach it, don't know what's about it, they haven't probably played, right? So we need to bring education not only to the parents, not only to the players, but to the coaches for futsal year-round benefits. Why we need to offer more futsal training courses, how to become proficient in coaching and teaching futsal. Why coaching and teaching futsal in America? Why those things? Think of it this way. You have agility training. You have strengthening training. You have so many other side training to benefit your soccer, right? So if you're a soccer player who's kind of weak, you go into a conditioning program to get fitter, to get bigger, maybe lifting some weights, better nutrition, agility, getting your speed up, your quickness up. There's just so many supplemental tools to help a soccer player develop. Well, why shouldn't futsal be part of that? Why shouldn't futsal be seen as that supplemental technical training for any soccer player for their soccer game? Okay? And aside from that, what about all the players that love futsal as a standalone sport? I'm telling you, it is happening. Ask your kids. The majority of your kids will tell you that they like futsal in most cases better than soccer. Be honest with yourselves. So the idea is we need to increase awareness about why futsal should be a year-round training component, not just a winter activity, right? And why it's an amazing sport in itself. But how do we implement it? Like I said, maybe start hosting more futsal education sessions for the parents, for the local clubs, for the coaches. We here in New Jersey hosted a international camp. We have partnered with LNFS, which is the International Futsal Professional League in Spain. In my opinion, the top league in the world when it comes to futsal. We brought over coaches from Spain. We flew Spaniard coaches from Spain that are currently holding a UEFA A and Pro licenses, and they're integrating into that methodology. They are working with the professional futsal league in some capacity. For example, the coaching director, Chima Jimenez Alonso, who was the coaching director that came over, he's the coaching director for the professional futsal Spanish league, right? He has traveled throughout the world. He has gone to countries like Russia, Indonesia, and basically set up their whole futsal system with budgets like, $3 to $5 million. That's no joke. That's like bringing somebody in the class of Guardiola, into soccer world, right? Here in America, and have him teach us his methodology. So that's who came over into America, and actually now we're moving forward, and we're going to have him back and his coaches in July here in New Jersey to host the summer LNFS futsal camp. So these are not only that for the players, but they also came over. They did a coaches futsal education program. Well, guess what? There were 9 coaches in New Jersey that registered for this program. Although there's plenty that ask, is there any certification? Is there any coaching education? Blah, blah, blah. When it actually comes push to shove, 9 signed up. And I told, the people in Spain, they offered it was a free course, and they offered it for free. And I told them, if you offer it for free, they're not going to come. Well, guess what? I was right. 9 coaches here in the New Jersey area signed up. Only 2 showed up, actually. That is poor. We need to change the culture. We need to change the mindset. And it doesn't just, focus around the player. It focuses around the parent. It focuses around the coaches. It focuses around the administrators. It focuses about, let go of the financial means. Because I don't care what anybody says. The primary reason why futsal seeks, or sees obstruction from soccer is for financial means, because they make more money in soccer than they make with futsal. Futsal, you got to rent the courts. In soccer, most clubs get free training space from either municipalities, towns, they're working with a local soccer club, and of course, the rosters are much bigger than futsal. Okay, so they make more money. More money is being generated through soccer than is generated through futsal. So that needs to change. Part of what I want to do is bring that futsal education to light. Love to host, and I am planning on hosting more and more lives, bring education to the parents, to the kids, to the coaches. Love to invite any coach, any administrator who feels the same way, to have a conversation here on these chats and debate this and discuss this. I'm recently reconnected without even knowing with a futsal coach, Coach G from Barefoot Academy in North Carolina. Funny part is how things work out. I actually did a video with Coach G teaching his barefoot methodology with Senda. Senda is probably the most dominant futsal specific shoes and balls company in the U.S. And they do a lot of educational work about futsal. And Coach G was one of their online. I found his video like 4 years ago, talking about the barefoot methodology, where kids train with barefooted. They train with tennis balls. They train with sala balls. They train with salam balls. Salam is different. It's a lot of, they're similar, but a little bit different. Salam is like a form of futsal in Colombia, a lot of South American countries. The ball is even smaller, a little bit heavier than a futsal ball. So different variations. He also has a freestyle element to his methodology, teaching the kids how to play and let them do their freestyle stuff. That's where South American players excel in freestyle and creativity, where something American players, regardless if they're in soccer or futsal, struggle with that. In my opinion, why they struggle with that is because, let's be honest, we are spoon feeding. We're creating robots. We tell them what to do every single second, and they don't think. But you know why? You know what forces? A lot of coaches understand and admit to this, right? But they being forced to spoon feed all the players this type of coaching, because the parents feel that if the coach is not on the sideline barking directions and constantly helping a player, that they're not doing their jobs. Where in other countries, players are being allowed to play freestyle. Coaches just sit there, they tell them what to do, they tell them the activity, and just sit there and watch their players, be creative at solving problems, be creative at coming up with solutions to problems, So I think that's why coaches in America are being forced to kind of, cave into the pressure from the parents. By the way, I hope you guys love and like this kind of content. Love to have you guys subscribe to this channel, make us, grow through the algorithms. Hope you guys can, love and join the chat. But like I said, benefits are endless. I mean, more families will seek out year-round futsal programs instead of just seasonal training or seasonal play or seasonal league. Coaches and club directors must integrate futsal training into the curriculum. There is an increased demand that leads to more futsal academies and leagues. And it's happening. If you are somebody like me, believe me, I urge you to do your due diligence. Just Google the futsal events that are happening in the U.S. after soccer is over. So in the summer month in July, especially in America, especially in the months of July and August, you'll see like United Futsal host events, USFF host a national event. And we're not going to get into the debate, well, they're doing these events because they're monetizing and making money. We're not going to get into that debate, okay? But the fact is that they would not be hosting these events if there wasn't a demand. If nobody signs up for these futsal events, if no kids are going to play in these events, they just wouldn't host them. No, because nobody's going to do events where they're losing money. All right. So by them hosting more events, that means there is more demand into futsal training, into futsal tournaments, into futsal leagues, way past the winter months. Does that make sense to you guys? What do you think? Any ideas? Any comments? Love to hear what everybody says. No? Here's a coach from Nepal. JFA Nepal. Hi, coach. I'm going to invite you. See if you're available. So, like I said, I would love to have more feedback from you guys, but for the time being, I think that we have to increase the awareness. How do we establish more clubs and more leagues and tournaments that focus on futsal development, independent from soccer programs, but also serve the demand of futsal interest? How do we implement futsal academies that train players exclusively in futsal? And I'll tell you something else. Over the years and every years, I see more and more players that quote unquote join futsal programs here in New Jersey. And I'm not looking to bash anybody. I'm just telling you the facts. That are not being taught futsal. All they're being taught is they're just taking soccer out of the soccer fields, out of the grass fields, out of the turf fields, and put it on the hard court. And if you watch a soccer training session outdoors or indoors on a futsal court, there's no difference. And those things are being done because a lot of organizations, and again, it comes back to money, feel that why should we allow XYZ futsal company or organization or academy train those kids and lose that revenue? Why don't we just create a futsal program under our brand and teach it ourselves? Well, the number one reason is because you don't have the futsal specific coaches. You don't understand how to teach the game. You don't understand the game. Okay. Furthermore, it kills me when I see teams play futsal. And let's be honest, most of the futsal games being played across America, they're being played on basketball courts. Unless you play at a higher level competition, you will not play on a futsal regulation court. So unless you play on a USYF national event or a USFF national event or a United Futsal national event or regional event, you're not going to play in those regulation futsal courts. You're playing small basketball courts. And I see teams, especially and look, that's what's great about futsal. Any player can score at any given time. But all they do is smash the ball. Every time they get an opportunity, even, from one side of the basketball court to the other side of the basketball court, they just decide to shoot. And they shoot aimlessly. They don't shoot at the right time. They don't shoot at the right place. They have no mechanics on how to shoot. No mechanics. The ball goes straight up in the air like a mess. And again, the essence of futsal is to learn how to move the ball with while you're having possession or while you're not having possession, being able to possess the ball, being able to think, not just kick the ball around aimlessly. For that, you just put a ball in at 3, 4, 5 years old and just running around, getting familiar with the ball. But you see high school age teams, no concept of futsal. Oh, we're a futsal team. We have a futsal program. We have a high school futsal program. They come in, especially on the boys' side. They come in and they're looking to smash the ball. They're looking to put a hole in the futsal net if possible. Just shooting aimlessly. There are so many discussions. When do you shoot? How do you shoot? Do you know how to shoot? I mean, there's players that don't even have the basic mechanics of futsal when it comes to shooting. Even soccer players. Who taught you how to shoot? Has anybody taught you how to shoot the ball? And actually, it's not shooting. It's called finishing. Why is it called finishing? Because anybody can just kick the ball and take a shot. Anybody. But knowing how to finish, meaning the ball winding in the back of the net, is key. That's why it's called finishing. That's why you hear coaches, top-level coaches, they don't say shoot. They call finish, finish, finish. Learn how to finish. Put the ball in the back of the net. That's finishing. Shooting, you can take 101 shots, ill-advised shots, no angle shots, off-balance shots, anything. But you don't know how to finish. You don't know how to put the ball in the back of the net. And guys, I hate to cut this session short. My phone is about to die. So I'm going to jump on here. If you guys like what you're hearing, if you guys enjoy these chats, I want to be doing them more endlessly, providing more education to everybody. As a coach, as a futsal coach, as a player, former player, I mean, everything. I've done it when it comes to futsal. So I invite more people to join the conversations. Parents, players, coaches, administrators. Let's join to the conversation. I hate to cut it short. My phone is about to die. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Be good.